Hey there, welcome back to Listen to Leo. Today I want to share with you an approach that I use to actually take an AI agent and put it into an actual product. So if you're like me, you've seen a lot of talk about various uses for AI agents. Maybe you've been following along with the developments in like the LangChain library. Side note, I've got a couple of videos on LangChain. You should go check them out if you're interested. All sorts of things about chatbots right now. But one thing I don't see a ton of is people actually deploying them and talking about that process. And so I wanted to share my process for that. A little background. I'm building an extensible library that allows you to use a chatbot in a number of different contexts. I also got the ability to deploy like more of a standard search, but I think the chatbots are where it's at right now. And so I've been taking that and I'm deploying it for realtors specifically. I have a thesis that if I give realtors this chatbot to deploy on their website, they will be able to add extra information based on either content they create or information about various properties that they are selling to make the chatbot more and more effective over time and more helpful to their users on their site to lead to higher conversion rates. Here's the thing I ran into. I don't actually know how to deploy anything onto a third-party server. This isn't something I've done before. I've got this code that allows me to create chatbots, but I don't know what to do with it. So I went straight to the OpenAI playground. Now, I set this up to use technology that I am most familiar with. And so I told it was an expert in React and Tailwind CSS and asked it how I could create this chatbot that I could deploy on a third-party site. And it actually gave me the code and showed me how to write the code for the chatbot. It showed me what I needed to do to deploy it on the third-party site. It gave me a JavaScript snippet that I just needed to include on the other site. And I've got this chatbot. So how do I figure out who's using the chat, where they're coming from, that sort of thing? And so this took a little bit more back and forth with GPT-4, but ultimately what I came to the conclusion of is that I needed to add in kind of this API key sort of thing that is publicly accessible. You know, that's one of the problems with adding in code on the client side. You kind of have to have something that is able to be viewed. And so one of the things I'm doing kind of on the back end is confirming that the API key is matching with the site that it came from. And so I've got a bit of validation there. That part actually wasn't too bad. I was able then to deploy this chatbot and then pull it into another site, make requests of it, and set it to the specific context that I wanted based on that API key. And so this is actually going to be extremely helpful in the coming months because I'm building out a number of products that are all going to be based around this idea. And so having a way to deploy this chatbot in an easy manner is going to speed things up considerably. Next steps, I have to get a little tweaking done on the actual chatbot itself. But the plan here is to actually parse out the user's intent behind the chat message they send. One thing I want to really do is, especially on realty websites, I want to validate the level of interest of the user. And so I don't want to spend a ton of time and, frankly, OpenAI credits on someone who's just kind of messing with the chatbot. But if somebody has legitimate interest in the property, I want to validate that and then ultimately, if possible, capture that lead. For me, that means going through the process of having a step to determine the intent of the user, and then from there, taking the context of the website and the provided information from the realtor and combining that into a coherent answer. If the answer doesn't seem to actually answer the user's question, I want to tell the user that and say, hey, I don't actually know the answer to that. So do you have an email address that I can reach you at? And I'd be happy to email you once we do have an answer. And so this actually builds up the relationship between the user and the realtor. And it has the added benefit of giving the realtor information about what people are looking for on their site. And they're able to really build out a more comprehensive chat agent that will learn over time. It'll become more responsive to what their users are looking for, and ultimately that's going to lead them to higher conversions. This takes us from the idea of, hey, here's this chatbot that can talk back to you, to here's an actual business use case. It's going to result in better conversions for the realtor, which is why they want to put it on their website. And because I can deploy this chatbot anywhere, that includes the fact that I can deploy it on the actual application site as it pulls in the data that it needs to at least start, so I can show the user what they're getting when they decide to pay. When they pay, they'll get the snippet they need to embed on their site, and voila, they have a chatbot. Also, I have every intention of using GPT-4 to write instructions for how to deploy it on multiple platforms as I figure out what platforms realtors are using. And so maybe they've got a WordPress site, might just build a WordPress plugin with GPT-4. And this is where it opens it up. I can offer things in a bunch of different ways and package that up and sell it to people who are hopefully looking to buy. So that's the game plan. I hope that's helpful. I really think it's important to kind of see the entire journey from, okay, we're building out these agents, but what can you do with them, to actually deployed in a product setting. And if you like this, let me know. If so, I'd love to get into more of this, taking AI applications and building products with them. I really enjoy that piece of it. I think it's something that people are currently struggling with. And so, yeah, if that's up your alley, great. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.